All right, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another game here at the 16-year-old College Showcase for the AABC for 2018. Dave Stanish along for the ride with you one more time. This time it's the Parkland Twins in white against the Calgary Junior Dinos in black with the yellow stripes and yellow numbers and white pants. These teams have played 2 games each in this tournament. The Dinos lost 1-0 to the Calgary Cubs last night, but then defeated the Calgary Babe Ruth Blues 4-0 later last night, so they are 1-1 so far. Parkland, the only team in Pool A that are 2-0. They defeated St. Albert 5-2 earlier this morning, so they're playing a double here at Optimist Park, and they won 3-1 against the Lethbridge Junior Bulls yesterday. So we kill the music. So we got numbers, the main there at the top. That one swung on and hit immediately right to the third baseman. No problem there. Parkland Riley Canas. 5-3 put out. Knaus is the left fielder, and we'll see him in a few minutes. Curtis Rink is the center fielder, and he's the second batter of this game. This game will be a 5-inning game. We'll have 5s and 6s throughout the rest of the day, including the championship game, which will be 5, just to make up for the rain delays of yesterday. Parkland was supposed to play last night, and then 2 today rather than 3 today. We'll see them actually in our next game as well against the Calgary Babe Ruth Blues. So if you're a Parkland Twins fan, you're in the right place because you got a triple header here at Optimist Park. Riley Knaus, Curtis Rink, Jack Ray, Jake Moger, Nolan James, Aldo Rojas, Johnny Walls, Hayden Rake, and Dylan Bowie. Your starting 9 for the Parkland Twins. And Rink 2-2 on this outing so far. That one way outside. Pitching for the Junior Dinos is number 14. On the mic.
On the mic.
And that's a strikeout. Rink is out.
What am I supposed to announce?
Announce the batters.
I haven't been here.
Can announce the batters.
2 up, 2 down very quickly for Parkland here. Luke Wilson, the pitcher. He's wearing 18 in black. And swung on and hit to the shortstop. Couple of steps, and it's dropped by the first baseman. He'll have to sprint to his right, and it's going to be 2 bases for Jack Ray. We'll see how the official scorer determines that to play to be.
I would have given it an E on this roll. Are you good with that, or you think that was on the stretch?
A 2-base error on the shortstop. Up to you. Okay, 2-base error on the shortstop. That is what we call an E6 in the business. So Jack Ray's at second base. Nicely underway here, top of the first, 2 out. Moger up to bat. Swung on and made contact back to the screen. For the Dinos, defensively, Smith in left, Shields in center, Backstrom in right. Dahlman, Sewell, McPherson, and Briska, the infielders. Bender is catching, as you can see right there. And Wilson is pitching. And Ken Muse will be used as a DH. Dinos have 5 subs if necessary. Parkland has 3. That one fouled to the left. Mojer finds himself down 1-2 the count.
Is it worth through this? I have no idea. I've never
It's
been
through
up
that
here before.
one.
We'll get a lot of stuff figured out here at the end of the first half of this first inning. Swung on and missed, and that will complete it. It's 2 strikeouts for Wilson. We'll be back in a moment.
For the Dinos, number 18, Bauer Sewell.
And you just heard it right there. Bauer Sewell's going to start us off. He's the shortstop today for the Parkland defense. Knaus in left, Rink in center, Bowie in right. Third base is Walls. Second shortstop is Ray. Second baseman is Rojas. First baseman is Moser. James is catching, and Rake is pitching. He's wearing number 29. Both of these teams have numbers on the fronts of their jerseys, which, believe me, we very much appreciate. That one fouled up over the screen into the parking lot. That's why everyone parked as far away as possible. I drove here yesterday and think, wow, the closest spot is empty. Why would that be? That's why, right there. That one chased to the back screen on the far right outside of the camera view. And it's quickly 2 balls and 2 strikes against Bauer Sewell. Kobe Smith, Callan Dahlman to come. As we talked about, Pool A extremely close right now. Edmonton 0-2, Parkland 2-0, everybody else 1-1. Pool B, a little bit more spread out.
Hey, no problem.
The Retlaw team, they're 2-0. That one is going to make contact in right field, but just foul. 3-2 the count now. Sewell, Smith, and Dahlman. And that's a strikeout that Bauer Sewell does not agree with. One umpire today.
No.
John Shields, Nick Backstrom to follow. But it's Kobe Smith's turn now. Each pool winner plays in the gold medal game tomorrow at 3. Each pool runner-up will play in the bronze medal game at 3 p.m. at Foothills Stadium. Sorry, Glenmore Stadium, I believe. Those games will both be 5-inning matches. Just because of that 5-hour rain delay we had yesterday, it pushed everything back. And games last night played this morning, and games scheduled for this morning played this afternoon, and so on and so on. 12 teams to make the championship round, so every game important, every run important for possible for and against tiebreakers. We'll have all the Optimist games here for you, but keep you up to date with the final scores in the other pools. And I can tell you about what happened last night here in just a moment. 3-2 to Smith. And 4-2. He watches that one go high and wide. Strikeout and a walk so far for Hayden Rake. Here on a Saturday morning. Left-hander Kellen Dahlman up next. That one straight down the pipe. That one inside, and it'll roll past. That'll get the runner to second base. See how that one was scored. We'll score it as a wild pitch. Pass balls pretty rare, but they do happen. It's usually about 80-20 wild pitch percentage. Maybe even more. Big swing and a miss for Callan Dahlman. Shane McPherson, the 6th batter. Zach Briska, the 7th batter, coming up. That one just a bit outside. Jonathan Bender will be batting 8th. And Ken Muse will be batting 9th. But batting 3rd right now and batting foul is Callan Dahlman, and another max pitch count here. Anything 31 and above, Rake will not be able to pitch tomorrow at any point. But at this level, pretty much everybody has to be able to do everything. You don't really get into specialties for another year or two. That one batted down to the second base, and they got him that time. Rojas to Mosier, no trouble at all. 4-3. Smith advances to third base on the ground out, and there are 2 out. Sewell with the strikeout and Dahlman with that play right there. John Shields batting cleanup, has 1 man to clear up. Watches that get called for a strike. Shields, Backstrom, McPherson, Briska, Bender, and Muse. The back half of this starting 9. Another one Shields watches go past. Sorella beat Chestermere 13-3. The Edmonton Cubs beat Chestermere 17-4 yesterday. Check swing held up, 1-2. Sherwood Park 6, Edmonton Cubs 3, Retlaw 9, Medicine Hat 4. And Fort Mac defeated Medicine Hat 6-1. So Medicine Hat and Chestermere looking for their first wins, but Team Retlaw is 2-0. And Fort McMurray is playing Sherwood Park as we speak at Glenmore. And Retlaw is playing the Cubs at Gladmere. And if we can get you those scores before the end of this game, we will. And if not, we'll give you the updates during our 2 p.m. broadcast between Parkland and Calgary Babe Ruth Blues. At 1 high, it'll draw a walk. First and third, bottom of the first inning here for the Calgary Dinos wearing black. Nick Backstrom, the righty, up. Against the left-handed Hayden Rake. This will be a 5-inning game. At 1, right to the first base, decides to go to second for the force out. Nice bit of improv there for Jake Moser. 3-4, Moser to Rojas, and that completes the first inning with no damage. No score after 1 inning. We'll be back. Top of 2 for Parkland.
Number 11, Nolan James.
There were no runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 left on for them in the top half of the first. That one batted to left field and caught, but dropped, and it'll roll to the wall. Nolan James going to make a run for 2 bases, and he'll get there.
For Parkland, although Rojas.
Bit of difficulty for Kobe Smith. We'll see how that one is. E7 for 2 bases, a 2-base error to the left fielder. Two errors against the Dinos so far. 1 against shortstop, 1 against left field. And Luke Wilson can just only watch after the ball makes contact with the bat, just like it did right there. Here's a play to McPherson. No problem to Briska. However, that advances the runner to third base.
Parkland, number 16, Johnny Walls.
Do you want to move the camera? Johnny Walls. Foul it to the right. Johnny Walls, the right-handed batter. Watch that one fall into the dirt. Hayden Rake and Dylan Bowie to follow if necessary. 1-1 to Walls, wearing number 16. Got fooled there, swing and a miss, 1-2. Parkland's next game, as we said, will be our 2 o'clock broadcast here at Optimist against the Calgary Babe Ruth Blues, who are also 1-1, a big win and then a surprising loss to these Dinos last night. That one off the edge of the bat. Count remains. After this game, the Dinos will play at the Gladmere Field at 5:30 against the Edmonton/St. Albert All-Stars. Big swing, big miss for Johnny Walls. 2 out here in the top of the second inning.
Next up, number 29, Hayden Rake.
Hayden will try to help out his own cause here. So Dinos fans, the next 2 games after this one will be at the Gladmere Field. Optimist is all we're broadcasting, but watch out for social media to get updates. But other than that, 5:30 today and 9:30 tomorrow, making the drive over. Of course, we appreciate anyone watching live or on the archive here today. Best thing about YouTube Live or recording, you can rewind what you miss, and you might want to rewind that and watch it over again. A nice straightaway single to the left field.
Next up.
Drops for a single bounce, and that is a run. RBI single for Hayden Rake brings in Nolan James. And now it's Dylan Bowie's chance. He is the right fielder today. So we have our first run on the board. Parkland 1. Dinos no score here in the top half of the second inning. That one gets away from Bender for the moment. 2-0 count. In the dirt. 3-0. Canas would come back next. Watches that one fly by. Each team will play 5 games in this tournament. Best from Pool A will play best from Pool B, and we'll have that championship game here for you at 3 o'clock tomorrow. And it'll be a 5-pitch walk for Dylan Bowie.
Next up, Parkland, number 18, Riley Moss.
Rake at second, Bowie at first, and Riley Canos's next chance. He grounded out to the shortstop, to third base in the first inning. That one low and outside. That went a little lower down, but right down the pipe. Takes a bounce in front of the plate. Players move, but don't advance. Don't risk it. Umpire just takes a second so everybody can relax and start again. Parkland with the first run of the game. Great pitch there for Luke Wilson. Wearing number 14. Two and two here. Overcast, but not a bad afternoon. Probably going to be about 18 or 19 degrees by the time we hit our high. Certainly not what we had yesterday. Of course, the smoke from BC is still making its way east, and several outdoor sporting events in BC have already been postponed today. That went inside, and Canas just decides to let it hit him, and that'll load the bases with 2 out.
And a walk. Next up, number 31 for Parkland, Curtis Rink.
That is a hit pitch. Curtis Rink, he struck out his last time up. 3 men on base right now. And that's a solid contact. 1 run in. That'll one roll to right field. 2 runs possibly, yes. Rake and Bowie both come in. It's a stand-up signal to right. And it's a 2 RBI hit for Curtis Rink.
Next up, Parkland, number 23, Jack Ray. 2 out with a runner on first and third.
So Rink drives in Rake. And it's 3-0. Dinos and Cubs was a 1-0 matchup last night, and we didn't see any runs until the bottom of the 4th inning. Difference between a poor offensive game and a good defensive game, but that was a great defensive game by both teams. And then the Dinos shut out Babe Ruth Blues 4-0 later that night. So they had only surrendered 1 run in 10 innings prior to today's game. Now it's 3-2. That one, big blast to left field and caught for the 3rd and final out. Caught by Kobe Smith, but not before the Parkland Twins get 3 runs in their top half of the 2nd inning. We'll be back. Jack Ray, that out to left field. 3 runs, 2 hits, 1 error, and 2 left on for Parkland Twins. They lead 3-0. Shane McPherson will begin the bottom half of the second inning for the home team, trailing 3-0. And starts it off with a strike. Hayden Rake with an impressive first inning, allowing 2 walks but no runs. McPherson, Briska, and Bender. And that's 3 for 3. He's done.
And a strikeout for McPherson. Next up for the Dinos, number 20, Zach Bergsoff.
Second strikeout for Rake. Now it's Briska's turn. First baseman. Of course, both of these teams play in the Baseball Alberta AAA Midget League. And that one, nice contact. Gonna go to the short, and that one's way wide. That's gonna give Briska a chance to get back. Did they get him? No. Safe at first.
Next up for the Dinos.
Jack Ray with a bit of trouble there. E6. E6 on the throw.
You want to E6 them?
It's up to you. It's not up to me.
Yeah.
Okay. E6 on the advancement to first base, but Briska was quite lucky to save his spot. One down the middle below for Jonathan Bender, the catcher. Muse, the DH, might be up next. Have to wait and see. Quick throw to first to keep Bender or Briska honest. That one rolls back. And the wild pitch will advance Briska to second. Solid contact through the legs of Walls, and it'll roll to the left. And it's first and third.
Next up for the Dinos, number 3, Ken Muse. The runner at first and third. 1 out.
Stay awake. Use the DH, first and third, 1 out. Trying to respond to a 3-run top half. Anything over the wall would get us back to where we started. Down low. 1-1 to Ken Muse, the DH. So 12 teams in the tournament, 8 last year, so that's a huge improvement. Needing multiple fields, we're using 4 different fields for this event this year. Two teams with perfect records, 3 teams still winless. That bounces up and down and rolls backwards. 1 and 2 to Muse here. Briska at third, Bender at first. That one swung on and missed. They're going to go for the steal. Don't get him. But they do have the strikeout of Muse.
2 out. Runner at second and third. Next up for the Dinos, number 18, Bauer Sewell.
Bauer Sewell struck out last time up. 1 of 3 on Hayden Rake's record. Made contact and will go foul. Moser goes chasing just to be safe. Solid contact between second and first. That'll bring in 1 run. The third base coach will hold him up at third base. But big response by the Dinos here as Briska scores off the single for Sewell.
Next up for the Dinos at 2-0, number 15, Obi Smith, for the runner at first and third.
Bender to third, held up smartly by the third base coach. Sewell at first, 2 out, 3-1. Catcher has to fool around with that in the dirt. Being careful not to mishandle it. Stolen base attempt is going to be made, no throw from the plate. And it's a steal for Sewell. Second and third. That's what we've seen the trend so far in this event is once the first man steals, then everybody steals. Or at least attempts it based on what they've seen from the catcher. Had 2 in the inning, expect to see more attempts going forward. Parkland would definitely be in the driver's seat if they could get 3 wins in a row, and then if they beat the Blues in our 2 o'clock game, that might just seal it. Everybody else is sort of beating each other right now. But if Parkland can continue going on a run, then Pool A is pretty much theirs. But they only lead by 2 runs here. And we're still 2 innings into a 5-inning game, and now we have a walk.
And a walk. The base is loaded for the Dinos. Next up, number 11, Kalen Dahlman.
Kobe Smith draws the walk, and Kalen Dahlman will be up next. Conversation with the coaching staff here. Parkland coaches Dean Fraser and Brad Sharon made the trip down. Parkland twins from the Spruce Grove area. And everybody goes back to their places. Walls at third, Ray at short, Rojas at second, Moser at first. And Dahlman at the plate. He grounded to second base his last time up. And watches that one go past. Bouncer will go foul. Gets everybody moving, but they'll have to go back to their places. Another throw from the left-hander. Nobody moves. Seen scouts from several different colleges here today and over the weekend. That one inside. 2-2 the count here to Kalen Dahlman. Our fifth broadcast here this weekend. Fifth of 11 games that we'll have for you. Anything and everything here at Optimist Field. Big swing backwards. Have 6-inning games later tonight and tomorrow morning. No attempt for Dahlman to get out of the way, but that'll bring in a run, and it's 3-2.
Number 22, John Shields.
Bender scores. Sewell to third, Kobe Smith to second. And it's 3-2. We've had some heavy run counts, but we haven't had like the 16-15 games like we had last year. But we're not even halfway through the preliminary round, so we'll have to wait and see. Batted down to the right and foul. One and one to John Shields. He walked in the previous inning. And big swing, not fair. That was unfair, in fact. It was unfair, but it wasn't unfair. And that one's going to bounce away from James and allow number 18, Sewell, to score. Pass ball against the catcher, Nolan James, and that allows Sewell to score. Dahlman second, Smith to third, and suddenly we're tied. 0-0 after one, but it's 3-3 as of now. Way inside to Shields, and he'll draw a 6-pitch walk. 2 in a row for Shields. Getting a chance to leisurely stroll his way to first base. And Nick Bagstrom was the third and final out of the first inning, hitting it right to the first baseman, Moser, who decided to go to second for the easier force out. We got a lot of action here. Pencil's starting to run out of lead. A lot to write down and keep track of. Like a big swing right there for Nick Bagstrom. "40 minutes in, and we've not completed 2 innings. We were completing 4 or 4.5 at this stage in earlier games this tournament. Down low, but in. Finding the bottom right corner of the strike zone. Backstrom and Rake. We'll see if Rake or Wilson come back in the third inning. Popped way, way up. How about James? He's got it. F2 in foul territory ends the third inning. That's second consecutive inning that Backstrom ends. However, his team gets 3 runs, 2 hits, 1 error, and 3 left on.
What was it?
3-3 after 2. We'll be back. Jake Moger. Moger struck out in the first inning. Wilson still in there. Smith, Shields, Backstrom, Dahlman, Sewell, McPherson, Briska, Bender, and Wilson. The 9 in black. And that one a little bit low. It's the AABC 16-year-old showcase for 2018. It's our second consecutive year broadcasting it. Last year we just did audio, but this year I called in some favors and we were able to do some video. The AABC was established in 1998 as the central governing body for all baseball associations in Alberta, and that's why any team with a group of 16-year-olds is allowed to enter this event. Any league, teams that normally don't see each other all season get to see each other this weekend. AABC consists of Baseball Alberta, Little League, Alberta American Legion, Babe Ruth, and the Collegiate Baseball League. That one swung foul to the left, which comprises the University of Calgary and Prairie Baseball Academies. Big swing, strikeout for Moger, and the crowd reacts, half positive and half bewildered.
Number 11, Nolan James.
Nolan James reached on the 2-base error and was driven in by Rake. After Aldo Rojas advanced him to third. Swing is outside. Pitch is outside. As we said, anybody over 31 pitches cannot pitch the rest of the tournament because there's only 1 day left, so they might as well go to the absolute maximum, which is 105. Doubt anyone's going to see that, but no harm. As I said, everybody should be able to do everything if they're at this AAA level at the age of 16. 3-1 count to James. Good read by James. Looked pretty close, but it's going to be a walk.
Aldo Roja.
Conversation here. Talked about the Parkland coaches that made the trip.
1 out.
Junior Dinos coaches Nelson Lipsy and Mike Ozga. Ozga? Lipsick. Lipsick and Ozga.
Say Nelly and Oz. It's easier.
Nelly and Oz, that's what they like to be called. Aldo Rojas, the left-hander, grounded to second in the first inning. In the second inning, excuse me, his first appearance. All threes up on the board except for the outs, which is only one. Johnny Walls to come, if necessary. Seen a couple double plays already here this weekend. And a lot of pickoff attempts, but no success. I think we're just about due. Straight down the pipe, and Rojas watches it go by. Two balls and one strike to Rojas. Dinos want this win just to keep pace and tie Parkland with 2 wins at the top of the table in Pool A. Of course, head-to-head would decide who wins in a tiebreaker among 2 teams. Bit of a jump, but right to the second baseman, McPherson, on to first, and Rojas out for the second time, exactly the same play.
Next up for Parkland at 2-0, the runner on second.
Johnny Walls coming up. He struck out in the last plate appearance in the second inning. We're in the top of the third. We're going to play 5. Catching the outside corner. Rake and Bowie to come, if necessary. James advanced to second on the Rojas play. So Rojas has done his job twice, advancing the runners, but not getting on base himself. Oh, 2. Way outside, it'll roll to the screen, and that wild pitch is going to send Nolan James to third base. Scoop up and down. Going to chase for it and make the grab. Bauer Sewell lands on the grass, having to twist his body around, but does make the catch in the grass nonetheless. And that completes the top half of the third inning. We're halfway through. And just in the nick of time. No runs, no hits, no errors, one left on. Parkland's got 4 left. They've got 3 in, and it's 3-3 after 2.5. Shane McPherson begins his second consecutive inning. 67 pitches for Hayden Rake. 68 to come. We'll see how much longer he stays in. We said 105 is the max, so it can't be too much longer. That one in the dirt. McPherson struck out last time up. And he's a step closer to doing it again. Pretty good string quality, only about 1 pitch behind. That one way up and over us into the back grass. You're seeing Sarcee Trail behind the back fence. One of the major thoroughfares here in northwest Calgary. Calgary Blues fans starting to arrive along with their team for their 2 o'clock game. Last game we had a 1-hour break due to how fast it was. I don't know if we're going to get these next 2.5 innings done in the next 30 minutes, but you never know. McPherson, the second baseman. And that's another strikeout for him. And that is a total of 4 so far for Hayden Rake.
Number 20, Zach Britzoff.
Briska fouls that one off. Warming up in the bullpen for Parkland is number 8, Gavin Fraser. To the far left of the screen. And some big contact, forcing the first baseman to go to his right. A bit of a mix-up there. It looked like it went off his arm. And Brisk is on.
With 1 out, number 21, Jonathan Better.
And the call is
E3.
E3.
Sorry.
Glancing off the ball, glancing off the arm of the first baseman. Second error of the day for the Parkland Twins. Three, bottom of 3. That pitch makes Nolan James have to stretch up high. Keep control. And a little bit higher there. 3-0. Jonathan Bender, a single and a run scored in the second inning. And a quick conversation between James and Brake to get everything settled. Muse to come if necessary. Trying to break this tie and prevent Parkland from going 3-0, because right now that would put them in absolute command of this pool. Three-one count. Bender, the catcher. Well, foul that one off. And 3-0s become 3-2. And 4-2. Nice read by Bender. He's on for the second straight inning.
Next up for the Dinos, number 3, Ken Muse.
Ken Muse, the DH, he struck out earlier on. As we said, that's 4 for Rake now. Brisket second, Bender at first. That one way to the left. Both players jump but zoom right back to their bases. That one down low and in the dirt. Wall's covering third base just in case. Knaus, Rink, and Bowie just watching. Not much has been headed their way lately. However, Nolan James really earning his money, but that's going to be a walk. So again, loaded bases here at this event, at this game, by this team. Brisket moves to third, Bender to second, Muse to first. Hayden Rake, another conversation with the coaching staff. He's just about to the 100. He's not quite at 105, but he's at 96. 86, excuse me. So, by rule, it can't be much longer here. I remember last year teams getting into the 90s and 100s with their players, but 105 is okay, but 106 is too much. But the most important thing is not to allow any more runs. They were up 3-0, and they're in danger of being behind here in a moment's notice, like that one right there. Going to be handled by Rhea. He drops it, and everybody moves up a step. Another E6, unfortunately, for Ray. His second of the day. And that'll be an unearned run against Rake. 4-3 now for the Dinos. They are the home team on the scoreboard. Briska scored on that play. Bender to third, Muse to second. Anything now will be unearned. Excuse me, that's not true. And what a great job to get it past walls. Well, wonderfully done by Kobe Smith. And it's going to be a 2-run double. Sewell had to be careful, but he reached third base efficiently, and 2 more runs in. A 2-run, 2 RBI double for Kobe Smith.
Runners on second and third.
Bender scored and Muse scored, and now 3-0 has become 6-3. And Dahlman willing to let it hit him. And you can see the frustration on Hayden Rake's face. Just begging to be pulled here at this point. Dahlman 2 for... well, actually 0 for 1 technically, because he's been hit twice. And that's it for Hayden Rake.
Performance on the mound for the Twins, number 29, Hayden Rake.
We'll take a break while Gavin warms up, and we'll be back at 6-3 in progress in the bottom of the third inning. Gavin Fraser up now. Hayden Rake still with 3 responsible players on his record before it can be fully closed. Shields with 2 consecutive walks. He's appeared in all 3 innings so far. Five walks for Rake in the matchup. And that one blasted to right center field. Right fielder Bowie's going to have to come up with it. Everybody moves up 1 step. Sewell scores on the RBI single for Shields.
Next up for the Dinos, with 1-0, number 10, Nick Baxter.
A single and 2 walks for Shields, and he has his first RBI of the day. Stranded at first the last 2 times up. Nick Backstrom ground out, fly out. and we'll hit it to the opposite way. It'll roll, and unfortunately it's muffled by 22, Aldo Rojas, who's been rotated to third base.
Why is there only one umpire?
7-3 the score based on the RBI single by Shields. Everybody goes back to where they started. Ruled as a foul ball, it looks like. Everybody goes back. We've had loaded bases here for the last 6 at-bats just due to errors, walks, and hit batsmen. Popped way up shoulder height. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes for Nick Backstrom. 1 out. Nick wearing number 10. He's the right fielder today. And that's a bounce at the plate. 3-2 count. McPherson would return to action after a full whip around the 9. That's a hard hit. They're going to go to the force at home, and that's all they needed to do. A fielder's choice at home, pitcher to catcher.
Next up,
Excuse me, third baseman to catcher.
this is loaded, number 16, Shane McPherson.
So 4-2 grounder at home. Four-two fielder's choice keeps Backstrom at first. Shields to second. Kobe Smith out. And Dahlman to third. Third, second, and first still all full here. 1-1. The count, 2 out. And a big blast way up high. Knaus will look for it, but Rink decides to get it instead, and that ends the bleeding. 3 in the second, 4 more here in the third, and it is now Dinos 7 and Parkland Twins 3 after the Twins led 3-0. We're through 3 complete. It's 7-3.
pitches. First up,
Luke Wilson continues. He's got 61 pitches. And number 8, the new pitcher, Gavin, jumps in for Rake. Gavin Fraser takes his spot in the 8th hole on the batting order.
11.
Seven runs that Rake had to deal with, and Fraser 1-3, no problem there. For the first out of the 4th inning. Rake had a RBI single to help his team out, driving in the first run of the game. But now he'll just be watching the rest as Fraser jumps in, and Dylan Bowie in the 9th spot will try to cut down this deficit. After 1.5, it was 3-0 Parkland. After 3, it's 7-3 Dinos. That one hit right to third. Dahlman straight across. 2 up, 2 down for the Dino D. Yeah, just maybe think about bringing it tomorrow.
Next up,
Riley Knaus.
number 18, Riley Knaus.
Base is empty here, down by 4. Watches that one go wide right. Big blast stays in just fair past Dahlman.
18, Riley Knaus.
That's a stand-up single for Knaus. Dahlman looking for 2 in a row. That was a tough play. That was not easy at all. Just stays slightly to the right of the white line. And Luke Wilson will be substituted out after a very, very positive performance. Not the best second inning he's ever thrown in his life, but he leaves the game with a 4-run lead. We'll take a break while the next pitcher comes in to warm up. 7-3 currently in the top of the 4th inning. Curtis Rink, 1 for 2 today, the 2 RBI single to break it open for Parkland, give them their second and third runs of the day. Ken Muse, the DH, now goes into pitch. Luke Wilson still responsible for Riley Knaus, but so far 3 2/3, 3 runs, 3 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Runner goes. Quick throw to the right, nowhere close. And it'll be a stolen base for Riley Knaus.
And a stolen base for number 18, Riley Knaus.
Curtis Rink, the lefty. Big blast, scoop up to right field. Backstrom can't handle it. It'll bounce. 1 run in. And Rink scores.
Number 18, Riley Knaus. Next up for the Twins, number 23.
Is that lined up?
Jack Rea. 2 out. Ryan Zach.
Okay. Two-base error, but Ray hits into a 4-3 putout.
At the half, we have a score of 7-4 Dinos.
That's 7-4 after the top of the 4th inning. 7-4 after the top half of 4. A 2-base error against the right fielder got Curtis Rink to second and put Riley Knaus at home. Jack Ray, the 4-3 putout, and we're caught up. 7-4 after 3.5. Briska back in. And we know in advance that Jonathan Bender is going to be subbed out. That one far left, foul. Mason Mowat will take over next up and in the catching position. So Briska, Mowat, and Muse. Trying to expand the 7-4 lead. All they need is 3 more outs, and they're going to win this game in 4.5. I think every home team has won There's no rhyme or reason to the home teams, but that seems to be what's been happening. Big swing. It's going to get the third strike is going to get away from Nolan James, and it's going to be a trip to first base for Zach Brisca.
Next up for the Dinos with runner at first, number 78, Mason Moore.
Mason Mowat, 78. Bender comes out with a hit and a walk and 2 runs scored. That one sharply ducked foul to the right. Muse struck out and walked. We'll see him in a minute. I expect. No guarantee, of course. Nicely done. Mowat didn't see that coming. Gavin Fraser gets a strikeout.
Next up for the Dinos, number 3, Kent Muse. 1 out, runner at first.
Gavin has faced 5 batters. Muse is his 6th. Lefty swings and misses. And that's
Next up for the
it for Muse.
Runner at first, number 18, Bowers.
Technically, Gavin's gotten 3 men to swing at the third strike, but one of them reached base. Brisca with that pass ball from Nolan James. But we're back to Bauer Sewell. Strikeout, single, and reached on an error. Bottom of 4. Stolen base attempt. A great run, but a very slow, great acceleration, but very slow run. And they got him. Brisca caught stealing. Sewell will start us off in the 5th inning.
4 Dinos.
A great jump, but not a lot of finish. 7-4 after 4 complete. Mojer against Muse. Muse is going to see his third batter of the day, top of the 5th inning. Mojer, James, and Rojas currently scheduled. Mojer, 2 consecutive strikeouts, both very frustrating on his expression afterwards. That one high and inside for Mr. Muse. The lefty watches that one very carefully. Don't forget, Parkland fans, our next game is our 2 p.m. game, and we will be here, and they will be here for our 3rd consecutive broadcast for these Parkland Twins in the white jerseys. Mojer watches that one, but this time it goes straight down into the strike zone. And outside. Mojer's been watching just like the rest of us here. All 4 pitches. And 5. Well done, Jake, after 2 strikeouts earlier today.
Next up for the Twins, number 11, Nolan James. Not out.
Nolan reached on a 2-base error and scored. Was walked in the 3rd inning and was stranded. Is Muse finished? It looks like he is. Muse responsible for Mojer, but otherwise 1 out for him. So 1/3 of an inning. So we'll take a break and give you the information on what's going to happen next. Nolan James versus Shane McPherson. So the changes we have: McPherson to pitch, Kobe Smith to second, Carter Jenkins to left, and Carter Jenkins will bat ninth in the batting order in the bottom of the 5th inning, but that's only if the Twins get 3 or more runs here in the next few minutes in their half of the 5th. Low and outside. Aldo Rojas to come here. Team broke open for 3 in the 2nd inning. They're going to have to find at least that to continue this game and try to continue on that 3-game winning streak. If the Dinos pull this one out, Pool A gets even tighter. And I know what all baseball fans enjoy: complicated mathematics. So the road to first place in the pool will get even hairier. Off the edge of the bat, straight to Bauer Sewell, no problem at all.
1 out points.
And Jack Moser doesn't move.
9, Aldo Rojas. Runner at first.
Shane McPherson looking for the save. It's a 3-run difference or less in the top of the final inning.
They only play with time limit. Pardon? Time limit? Is that
Yeah.
Is there time limit?
Yeah, but
That's
I
why.
don't know what it is. I don't know what they do. I don't know if they changed anything from this.
We'll only play 5 in this round. The next game is Parkland and Babe Ruth, and they'll only play 5 in that game to catch up for the rain delays from yesterday afternoon. Actually, we've had quite a few hits on our rain delay. All it is a silent camera watching rainfall, but 98 people felt like they wanted to watch it, so I'm leaving it up there. We appreciate all the hit counts we're getting. The numbers are
They told us it changed to 7.
excellent, and we appreciate all of you tuning in either live or on the archive. You can rewind and watch every pitch of every game that we've had here at Optimist.
The problem is that the guy that's supposed to be communicating is not. We were supposed to be 5 and 6, and then they changed it to 7.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Aldo Rojas, 1-1 here. 1 out. That one batted to second, short to second, second to first. You betcha. 6-4-3 double play, and that ends the ball game. Shane McPherson does his job.
Ends the ball game.
Earns the save in about 3 minutes. And that's your ball game. Dinos 7 and Parkland Twins 4. As we said, that tightens up everything quite a bit. And we'll see you here at 2 o'clock for our next broadcast. Thank you very much for tuning us in.